Welcome, everybody, to Global Leader, the course you signed up for on Wednesday mornings this semester from 10 a.m. to noon. And remarkably, this is a first in a couple of years. I am looking at a lot of in person students and nobody yet online. This is something to celebrate, really something to celebrate. And it's wonderful to see all of you here. You don't have to be here, by the way. So I want you to know that I'm going to take you through this whole class today so you know what you've stepped into. But the first thing you need to know, if you read what was posted on DC Connect, is this is a different kind of classroom and it's super flex, post pandemic classroom of the future, which means you can join from anywhere, anytime, however you want, come as you are, as long as your brain is here in this class. That's what matters. You can bring your tools in, you can have your laptops open, you can have your phones on. It's as real as it's going to get, but you will start to understand something about how we're going to use technology this semester in this classroom. But I am just thrilled to see so many in-person students. And again, you can be somewhere else. You could be at a bus stop, you could be at home, you could be in another country now online, but I'm not looking at anybody online. And you'll see all of this in a moment. But we will have a guest joining us from northern Pakistan at quarter to 11 today, and you're going to start to meet some interesting global leaders today. But so I just want to take a moment to kind of celebrate this and look at the fact that there are students here in person. Does anybody think that they're supposed to be here in person? If you think you have to be here, then you have some good news coming right now. You don't have to be here. So I'm going to assume that everybody who is in person right now is here because they want to be here. But next week, you may not want to, and you may want to join from somewhere else, and you have that option. So that's great, which means that I don't really have to introduce anybody online right now because I am not seeing anybody there. But let me just show you what I'm seeing, okay? So I'm just going to tee up things in a moment and keep the big board going. But for the moment, I'll just leave it like this so you can get a bit of the full impact since I'm essentially teaching right now to all the in person students and to the students who will be watching the recordings later. So essentially, in our space this semester, the global classroom, where you're going to be exploring with me and others around the world how to become a person ready for a very complicated world and how to lead rather than follow, how to use your imagination rather than being obedient, how to get ahead rather than always trying to catch up. You're going to learn a lot about that this semester. But most importantly, is I want to make sure that you understand that each class, we're always kind of come on in. There's the in person group, there's the live synchronous group that I don't see anybody in right now. And then there's all the students watching the recordings later. I know that there are about 41 or 42 students registered for this course. So, judging from what I'm seeing right now, there will probably be quite a few watching the recordings later, and you may want to do that too. So let me just take some time to introduce myself and help you to understand what you've stepped into in this classroom. And my name is Lon Appleby, Professor Lon Appleby. And out of this space, in this incredible center that we built at the college, I teach what's called the story of humanity or the human story, past, present, and future. So, Global Leader is essentially the class all about today and the world that we have. Short History of the World, that I teach on Fridays, is all about the human story. And there are students that you will probably meet in this class, the new students, who've taken Short History of the World, and they've come to understand something about the story of the human race on planet Earth. And then on Wednesday afternoons, after this class, I teach Humanity's Destiny, which is all about the future. Who are we? Where do we come from? Where are we going? The story of the human being on planet Earth is what I teach out of this space. I've been blessed at this college to have the support of senior management and the president who's helped to build this global classroom. Um, and we take this idea at this small college in Oshawa, Canada, that we can be leaders. Hi, come on in. And that's why you see together we're leading the way here. That's why you see up on the top of this building leading the way. And you see that all around here is that there's a culture of leadership that we're building, and we're not afraid of anything. We're not afraid of AI. We're not afraid of tech. We're not afraid of the complexity of the world. We're not afraid of stress. We're not afraid of mental health problems. We're not afraid of all of the things that you are dealing with today. We want to get ahead and help you. So I'm telling you, this is, I don't know if this is going to last, but all these in person students, it's like it's overwhelming. I want to cry or something, but I'm got to control myself. Um, so, what we're going to do today is I'm going to talk a little bit more about what this space is, what this class is, what you can expect this semester in this course. And then I'd like to give you all a chance to meet each other and then tell me what you're expecting. So, if we have time, I'm going to put you into kind of a speed meeting activity where I'm going to line half of you up here on your feet, the other half facing, and you're going to go and meet as many people as possible and talk about what you expect from this course. So it's going to get pretty, chaotic, which is the best kind of learning, managed chaos. At 11:45, or sorry, 10:45, you're going to meet the first of many global leaders and guests that you will meet this semester. And the first today will be from northern Pakistan, a very young entrepreneur there, Ashfaq, that I think you're going to like very much. Well, I'll tell you more about him when we get closer to it today, but I want to just introduce you to him. You're going to meet a lot of guests that are going to be coming in on the big board. And I will open that up in a moment and show you all sorts of things there. But let's just take this step by step because you've entered into a kind of a jet or a spacecraft. And this is high tech stuff. But in a way, we always have to come back to the fact that what matters is that the tech enriches the human experience. So it's ultimately about this, us in person. Okay. And all the tech is there to just make it a lot more relevant to the world today and to help you to be ready because you may not realize, but you are among a generation of human beings on this planet that is facing some very serious problems for humanity, as well as opportunities. It has never been more important to be smart than today. It has never been more important to be calm than today. It's never been more important to understand how to use all these tools around you that are distracting you constantly than today. Because if you don't figure it out, not only are you going to fall behind, but we're going to lose the world. And I'm not joking. We've got some big problems, and you know that. So if we can't prepare you for this complex, volatile, messed up, amazing, beautiful world, there won't be much of humanity left. So I look at this all as an amazing opportunity. But I also think education has been way behind. And we're trying to get ahead now after the pandemic to give you a chance to step into a learning space that's just going to open you up and make you smart and make you tough and make you ready so that when you go out there into the world as it is, you will be ready. You won't be scared, you won't be stressed, you won't be messed up, but you're going to be a global graduate. At least that's the dream. Okay, so hold on. Let me just check and see. Not a single person is in our video conference today, which is, again, remarkable. So I'm going to bring everything up on the board for you now, and then I'm going to do something that might unnerve you. I'm going to ask you to talk to me a little bit about what you're expecting from this class. And you don't have to do any talking today. You can just listen. But there will be students who come into this class, every class, who've been in other classes, mine like Ryan, for example, and they're ready to talk. Grayson is here, and Richie Awiti is here, and others who are going to be ready. And I I see others. They're going to be ready to jump into the conversation. So don't worry. And Mubarak, I see here as well. Okay, so let me show you the board and show you a bit more of how it's going to work. So the first thing that really is important is that we have notes that are kept in this class together. And those notes are kept over there. And actually, I'm just kind of playing around a little bit here, but watch what happens. There we are in video conference. I can do something like this anytime. I can go over there, and that's what people are seeing online, and I can start making notes. Come back. See, we're trying to use the camera in this classroom as well to make it more interesting and engaging for you. But the critical thing to understand is that there are no PowerPoints. If you have come to a class wanting PowerPoints delivered to you in the way that you're used to them, you're in the wrong class. That's old style. But there are good PowerPoints. No question about that. We create our own PowerPoints. So let me just show you, for example, how this is going to work, okay? And everybody on YouTube and video conference can see all of this for now, but we would do something like this, and we would start a slide, and we might call this, I don't know, expectations. Now, I'm just making the note now, but I'm not going to be taking notes. I'm not going to be making the slides that are then saved as a PDF and shared with you on DC Connect. You will be. There will be a student each class that will be kind of asked or voluntold or to go take notes, and we're going to give you the notes. In other words, we create the PowerPoint slides together. Does that make sense? Good. And I see someone has, that's Ash and Ken, and we'll come to him in a moment. But let me just make sure, because I haven't been in here in a couple weeks, and it takes me a little bit to get. Ash, is that you?
Hi, yeah, that's me. Hello.
Okay, great. You don't just hang out for another 15 or 20 minutes, and then
Sure.
I will bring you in. But just hold on, and I'll make sure Ash can see what he needs to see right now.
Yeah, I
And
can see you guys. It's
okay,
wonderful.
good.
Hello.
So let me get rid of you there for a second. So
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Ash, remarkably, something's happened, which is a lot of the students have shown up in person today, and you're the only
Mhm.
one online, but that's as it should be because you're in northern Pakistan, correct?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Yeah, that's great.
Okay, good. Okay, so just hang in there, and we'll
Sure.
start with you in about 20 minutes. But um,
Yeah. Continue. Yeah.
beautiful. Okay,
Feel like I've just joined the room and I'm sitting in the corner back somewhere.
good. Wait till we see your face on the big board, and then you're going to feel like you're right in the space.
All right, sure.
Good. Okay. So let me just come back and get the board fully set up. So normally, what we will do each class is you would see something like this. You would see oh, that's the wrong. I'm always getting this. Uh, I want to go over there. Okay, there we go. And then we'll bring the map in here. It's so counterintuitive. That's the general default position that you will see when you walk into this space. So let's make sure we understand something about what you're looking at right now on the big $500,000 video board that our college president spent, a few years raising the money for, and I worked with him and others to make this happen. First, you're seeing a live view from the International Space Station. Now, the International Space Station is in orbit right now around planet Earth as we speak, about 460 kilometers that way up there, going at something like 28,000 kilometers an hour. If you can get that speed straight, it's about like going from, I don't know, Pickering to here in about a second and a half. It's called global scale. You are in a place where you're learning global scale, how to understand, how to think of the planet as a whole. So always, we want a view from the space station in high definition of the planet. It goes around the planet in about 90 minutes. Right now, it's over the South Pacific. That's it. The camera's showing it. And it takes about 90 to 93 minutes to go around the planet once. And that's how long this class is generally, about 90 minutes. So I like to think when you come into this space and you take Global Leader, we're going around the planet once each week. That's what you do here. I'm not making this stuff up. This is just trying to show you what's out there with the technology we have. And there it is. So then in the center of the big board, you see the notes, the GC Global Classroom Notes, which I've touched on. And then there's the map of the world that you need to see always. And there will be lots of things coming and going on this big board. For example, I can switch very quickly and I could, let's say, bring up right now when Ashfaq or Ash is ready in Pakistan. Right now, he's sort of hanging out down here, listening, but he'll come in and I'll pin him and you'll see his face. And you're going to see global leaders joining from everywhere like this, full screen right there, interacting with you. Sometimes they'll be sitting here. So let me just come back to the notes. So the idea then is that this board and those notes are a way for us to be thinking about the whole planet every week, talking about it and making notes, and ultimately me giving little lectures when I can each week through the conversations we have on leadership. So I'm not going to be coming into a class, standing in front of a screen with a PowerPoint and just lecturing at you while you sit and maybe take notes. We're going to create the notes together. And in terms of the content that you need to learn, it's not really going to come out of me talking to you like this. I'm talking a lot right now today because I want to set you up. It's going to come out of the interaction going on here. And it's going to get pretty interesting. A lot of students are going to have things to say. Once they come into this little nucleus here, they're going to take the microphone, going to go up on the chair, and we are going to have some great interaction. And I will teach you the critical content through that. Does that make sense? Is that okay? So, yes, you're going to learn all about leadership. Yes, you're going to learn about how to think about the planet as a whole. That's the global part. But the way you're going to learn this is different. We need more human interaction. Humanity has been losing that as a result of the pandemic and as a result of our technology. You know this very, very well. I and you, we are the most messed up, rattled generation in a long, long time. Even adults now are exploding in the medication that they're taking for ADHD. Not just young people, grown-ups now are being given this. You think that's biological? You think something's wrong with the human being? No, we're in a period of profound growing pains, learning how to deal with this highly stimulating technology. And it is really messing us up, but also stimulating us. And it's making us more alone. I'm sure I'm not telling you something you don't know already. Maybe I'm just articulating it to you and validating it for you in a way that makes sense. But you know that when you're online all the time, chronically online, you make yourself feel even more alone. So, what happened to humans? That's what this is. That's what this class is. That's what we want to be, interacting together in the old way, but using the tech to help enrich that. That's all. The tech is secondary, not primary. So we're going to reverse it. Therefore, I will finally say, and then I will stop. If you choose to come in person every week, you will benefit the most from this class. But if you can't, don't worry. Don't stress. You have the recordings. You can join online. Not a problem. Okay? So let's start to kind of put a little something in the silence in this room. As much as I like to talk about everything, I get sick of my own voice. So, who's ready to say something? Who's ready to ask a question? Who's ready to introduce themselves? And I'll just shut a door, and then Ash is going to join us from Pakistan, and he's going to introduce himself, and then we will get going. But I'm not going to put any pressure on anybody to speak. This is the first class, so you can just observe. But I'll just say this again before I carry on and talk about other things. Would anybody like to ask a question about what you're doing here in this class? What you want to achieve? Great. Let's. Oh, my name. Well, let me write it. Okay. Very good question. Ryan, what's my name again? Okay. Yeah, it's Lon. Okay, so Lon Appleby. Okay. I am your professor. But you can just call me Lon. Now, if you want to see what they're seeing on YouTube or on our video conference, just turn your head around and look at that screen over there, and you'll see, because I can see that. So if I wanted to make this really fun, I could just, snap the camera over there, and that's what they'd be seeing. We spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out how do we remodel the classroom for the third millennium so that you can get really smart. And this is an attempt to do it. So thank you for your question. But since this student was brave enough, why don't you come up here for a moment, okay? Let's do something really nerve-wracking. Here's the talk show element of the class, okay? Come on, and so now all the students can see. Can you take this and just sit there? And Okay, so we'll just watch this. Are you okay sitting there?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you, when you speak, just make sure it's on? So usually you'll see it's on, and then you can turn it off if you want. Okay, it's on. Hold it like you're doing karaoke, close to your lips, so that way people will hear you, and it will sound like FM radio, nice and close, not like distant somewhere. Again, we pay attention to how to use tech, right? So that when you watch the recordings or you're online, you really feel you're in the space with everybody here. That makes sense? Okay, so thanks for asking the question. You are the most brave student so far today. What's your name?
My name's Abdul.
Abdul. Welcome to Global Leader, Abdul. Um, Abdul, do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Okay, remember karaoke?
No.
Just don't sing, although there probably are students here who can sing. Abdul, why are you here?
In this class specifically right now?
Yeah, like why did you choose to come into this place called the Global Classroom and take this class called Global Leader when it's an elective and you could take many great electives here? Something brought you here.
Two of my friends convinced me to join, and also I had like a 2-hour gap, and this filled it in.
Right. And what did your friends tell you?
They just told me to just do this course. That was really it.
Whoa, this is a good. Oh, okay. So here comes the next uncomfortable thing. Abdul, this is great. Is there anybody here who likes to write, like literally enjoys making sentences and believes that's a noble thing? Does anybody here read? Like, okay,
Sometimes.
good, good. Okay. I saw your hand. Oh, okay. If you read, you probably like to write too. Okay. How's your English? Is it pretty good? You're pretty confident? Because we have everybody here from everywhere in this class, many international students. So that's why I asked. What's your name? Brock? B-R-O-C-K? B-U-R-A-K. Oh, Barack. Oof, okay, so why don't we help Barack? Because I'm going to ask Barack to come over here. And we're going to call these for now Barack's notes. Okay, so Barack, you can just stand. Could you just please write, do this class? Do this class. Said Abdul. Great. It's working.
Yeah.
It's working. Let me just stop for a second because I'm doing something new with all of you. Are you getting a sense that you're in a different kind of space and that we're learning in a maybe way that might be a little more interesting? Maybe not. But at least are you getting a sense of how this is starting to work? Here's a student, a leader. How do I know that? Because he led. Other leader put his hand up. So did some others, but I just happened to be looking at his sweatshirt, or I don't know. He just got the kind of role today to be over there. So there he is. All right, so let's keep moving. So Abdul, these other students, these two students that do this class, did you have a sense after you heard that of what that meant? What you might expect here?
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, when the student, your friend said, do this class, did they say what exactly you're going to gain from this class?
It was more of just like I could hang out with them, and also it could be fun. Like it could be a fun thing to just try out.
Okay, it can be fun. Great. I'm going to give you a word, all of you, to understand something about leadership and about expectations in this class. I can't tell you everything today. There's too much to do. All I can do today is give you a kind of a taste of what's important in this class. And then next week you come back and there'll be more. So we can't cover everything. All that matters is you leave today this space and you understand why you've come here and what you can gain from being a global leader in the global classroom. Okay? Here's one thing that's really, really critical. In leadership, if you want to do anything of value in this world, in this thing called human civilization, in a very volatile, complex, messed up world, you need imagination. You need creativity. There's never been a time, ever, when we need to have new solutions. We need almost like a psychological revolution. And you know what is critical in that? And in the human story? Freedom, free thinking, being able to speak freely, think freely. So, Barack, could you please just write down the word freedom and imagination? These are things that I think when people say it's fun to be here, it might be partly because we're going to be free in how we speak. And we're going to be speaking about everything. And I mean everything. I'm going to put some skin in the game. I'm a Jew. I'm Jewish. I may be the only Jew standing among you at a time when many of you are watching a war unfold in the Holy Land, and where my so-called people are slaughtering many others. You may hate me, just for the simple fact of me being a Jew. Your professor just said that? And he said it at a time when I see so many things online. And he's saying that when he knows that there are so many Muslim students in front of him whom he deeply respects. And there's so many black students and so many Indian students. And then there's a Muslim Pakistani in 5 minutes that you're going to meet from northern Pakistan. And here he is, and he's telling you that. Is he trying to shove anything down your throat? I hope not. What he's saying is, your professor in Global Leader is comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the world you live in. And we talk about things that are hard, really hard, because that's the world we live in now. If we can't talk about them, guess what? Go get your weapons, go start shooting. You're going to see this play out in the United States in the next year in a bad way. It's coming. So we need to be able to interact, and we need to be able to be free, and we need to be able to be compassionate and empathetic and all of these things. So is there anything any of you would like to ask Abdul, who's been brave enough to come up here? Anything you'd like Barack to put in the notes right now before we bring Ash in from Pakistan? And then we'll come back at around 11:15 and give you all a chance to meet each other, and then we'll call it a class. Anything? Beautiful. Very good. That's okay. Say, teacher is a Jew or a teacher is Jewish. We could say that too. That's good. I have put skin in the game. I have said what I'm not supposed to say. What I've said is not so much that I'm Jewish, but that I'm willing to talk about uncomfortable things. And I will tell you who I am, and I want to know who you are. That's all. I'm not here to change your minds. I'm not here to win a war. In fact, I've got some big questions too about what's going on. It's awful. Okay. Wow. What's your name?
Nathan.
Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan.
Thank you. Teacher is Jewish. We wouldn't say a Jewish. Teacher is Jewish, okay? But if you want to erase that little indefinite article, take your finger. Watch. Intercultural literacy is a critical quality of being a leader today. You will be in groups. How are the Indian students, who are Hindu largely, and the Pakistani students who are Muslim and have a history of conflict that's still ongoing, and they both have nuclear weapons, how are they going to be in a group together in Canada? So then the Jew and the Muslim and the black and the white and the Chinese and the Japanese, or the Korean South and North, all of whom are supposed to hate each other, they don't in this class. We're humans. We love to talk to each other. I wish we had somebody from North Korea, but that's not going to happen. Yes, Barack. Fair enough. We're not politicians, we're students. But, and you're welcome to write that. Go ahead. And if you want to change the slide, Barack, take your finger, go to the right where the two lines are, and just great. But you might be a politician in a few years, Barack. You might be running an organization. You might be pitching your own initiative. You will be leading something, and then you will need to understand more. Okay, Ash has been waiting patiently well, he'll tell you where he is and help to orient us. Ash, do you want to are you able to turn your camera on? You can see you? Let's see, now, here we go. So why don't we stay for now? We're going to come
Yeah.
back here, and we're going to bring Ash in, and here we go. Look at that.
All right. Hello, guys.
Great. You can go back. Thank you, Abdul. That's great. Okay.
Can you see
Are
me
you okay
clearly?
to still stand there, Barack? Okay, because there's going to be some important stuff coming up.
Hi, guys. Hello, Lon.
Ash.
How are you?
Well, everything's working. I'm so used
Yeah.
to things not working. Let me give you another view for the moment, so you can see, but I'm not going to hold that view, but at least you will be able to see something. Here we
Oh,
go.
wow. Wow.
Just
Yeah.
a second. There.
Excellent.
Can you see that?
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm having
Fantastic.
trouble. Okay, 'cause you're
Fantastic
seeing
job.
good. Okay. Let me come back to here because I'm gonna keep you in this space.
Mhm.
I'm so happy that things are working too. Normally, I'm always troubleshooting on the fly, and it is stressful. But we're really getting this spacecraft up in orbit, going around the planet, and it's working. So, okay. I'd like to introduce this remarkable young man who right now is live far, far away in Asia, sort of northwest of India. If you orient yourself on the map of the world, you will see a very important continent in the world, and it's called India, biggest democracy in the world. We have many international students from there. You're going to meet a very remarkable young man as well from Bangladesh this semester, Ajoy, and that's just northeast of India, tiny country. And then northwest is Pakistan. And I'd like Ash to tell us his full name, where he is exactly, how he came to understand what the global class is, and then I'd like him to tell you something about a topic he's going to speak to you about this semester, which is called empowerment. You can write that down, empowerment. He spent quite a bit of time at the Budapest Business School in Hungary, where he got his degree. And he's made a decision to go back home. Instead of staying in Europe, he's gone back because he wants to do something for his community. And he is very committed to this idea of youth empowerment. I'm going to let him speak more about that, but I only want you to know that when we talk about leadership, we need to talk about important dimensions of it through the semester. One of them is understanding complexity, how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and one is how you can empower others and yourself, and how you can then build businesses and initiatives, maybe make some money if you're following a capitalist model or something else that's even more important. So you're going to be hearing a lot from Ash this semester about empowerment and other things. So Ash, welcome to the Global Classroom. We have you until around 11:15 our time, but what time is it there right now?
Well, it's 8:50 right now at the night. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
So Ash, please go ahead and tell us about yourself a little bit, and
Sure.
this is just an introduction to one of the many global leaders, young people like yourself, who are doing things around the world and who are leading. Go ahead, Ash.
Sure. Yeah, thank you so much. So my name is Ashraf Hussein, and to make it easier for the people in the West, I just shorten it to Ash. And right now I'm live from, like Lon, you mentioned, from the northwestern province of Pakistan. Like you can see, you can point it on the map over there that I can see on the big screen that you got over there. So that's where basically I'm from. It's up in the north of Pakistan. It's a beautiful region with a lot of natural resources, and we got some tall mountains here. Just to give you some facts, and to my global friends over here who have joined us, that we have the second tallest mountain based in my region. It's called K2. It's one after Everest. Yeah. So
I have it
pretty cool.
here, a rock. I'll put a little rock here for mountains. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, there's a
Wow.
rock. Okay, we love rocks.
That's
Go ahead, Ash.
amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I hope we can someday plan a trip to the mountains. You know, it's we have so many, like, and starting from there, you know, the region that we got physically on the globe, the position is so resourceful because it starts from the mountains, goes down the rivers, and then we have a desert at the end of our country. So it's like a mixed geography that we got there. But sadly, because of, you know, not having good leadership around, this region hasn't evolved as it should have because of the resources that we got. So that's a different topic for another day.
Oh, it's great, but that's
And
it's great to know. Keep going. We're here. We're with you.
yeah, and after that, I would like to congratulate you on this fantastic class that you have created, the space that you have created, because in 2019 and 20, when we were having classes, it wasn't this developed. And now that I see the developments and the hard work behind it is truly, you know, I have to give you a round of applause for that. And if
Thanks,
anyone, if
Ash.
everyone, because that's amazing. You're doing a fantastic job, and you're the one who's creating the space for leaders, for youth to come forward and bring solutions towards the global problems and the global issues. And as you mentioned, that I got back from Europe to Pakistan, and the main reason was that because I felt like I had this responsibility to give back to the community, you know, like
Yeah.
get involved and actually live with an impact rather than just following a capitalistic mindset, you know.
Live with an impact. Live with. What we have on the notes, Ash. Just so you know, I'm gonna show you something. Sorry, I'm just gonna take over. We have Barack on the notes. There's Barack, so Ash can see you full screen now. Okay. Um, and
My, yeah,
yeah,
good job there.
so the notes are being made as we speak. And if there's anything you want Barak to put in the notes, he will. And then we will have this available as a PDF afterwards. Okay. So this is how we learn. And you're getting it
Yeah,
live. Live with impact. Beautiful. Barak. Okay.
this is transformation. This is real transformation happening in the classroom, and I can actually feel the energy around there. You know that you have, and everyone is gathered around, and I can't wait for to go in details about the topics that we want to discuss over here, the notes that we want to make,
Yeah.
the actions that we plan out. We actually plan out roadmaps for what we want to do. Like we like you said, we are not here like you say,
Yeah.
we are not here just to talk or just to discuss, but we are here to actually take action towards
Absolutely.
our ideas and what we think about the world. So that's the main point, because that's all the hard work that you're doing, and we get one chance to live. So if we don't make it count, or we don't really try, then what's the point of being alive? So that's
Beautiful.
the mantra I live with. And like you said, that I would like to go back to your point when you said I'm Jewish. Actually, it was so hilarious.
I was just saying it to get it is true, and I was just saying to kind
Yeah,
of put a little fire in the class and let people know I'm ready to talk about
yeah,
everything, and I'm not, and I love you all as humans. Okay,
yes.
so let's yeah,
It
go ahead.
reminded me. It reminded me. I would like to take you back to the history of India here, and we had in India there was a slave dynasty. At one point, there was a dynasty. It was called Slave Dynasty, and it was actually ruled by the lower class came up and they ruled it. So, and the leader was a woman, and she was called Razia Sultana. My Indian friends would relate to it. They would know if there is Indians in the crowd.
Yes.
So
Well, I
there,
don't
there
know.
was,
We have some Indian, but I won't make anybody too uncomfortable here. Okay. So, anyways, assume that the Indian students here know. Okay, the international Indian students know what
yeah,
you're doing.
they would know it, because I'm talking about the region that they belong from. So there was a Razia Sultana, and she said once a really famous line, and I will quote it, and I'm just translating in my head right now,
Okay, we're gonna
because
put it in. We'll put it in the notes. Go ahead. Yep.
yeah. And she said it like, I know that I'm come from a slave dynasty. Okay, she said, I know that I come from a slave dynasty, but know this, that God judges us not by our blood or by our color, but by our actions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's a nice
I
way
hope
to
Barack can. Okay, I come
just
from a
make sure we
slave.
get it down. Okay. I know where I
Yeah.
come from. And well, can you say it again? Because
Yeah.
students will be doing their reflections and assignments based on
Mm-hmm.
these notes.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
this is important
I know.
stuff.
I
Okay.
realize that God, uh, or I'm trying to slant. It's a poetic sentence, so I'm trying to give it the perfect sense that I can give it to. So, in the eyes of God, we can say, in the eyes of God,
Yes.
or yeah, we can continue like that as well. Sorry, Barak. Sorry, Barak. Can I wait? Let me see. Let me look at the screen. What you have written so far. I know that I come from slave dynasty, but I realize that God does
Live
not.
in I just want to remind the student, live from
Mhm.
Pakistan, you have somebody giving notes to a student
Yeah,
in Oshawa. Where have you ever seen that?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
okay. Maybe you have, but doesn't this kind of feel more alive? The knowledge, and not from a book or a PowerPoint. And okay, did you want to say something?
I actually took a class from Qatar to India.
You saw? Yes,
Yeah, I was in a class in Qatar,
yes.
and the teacher was from India, southern India.
And were they making notes like this?
Yes,
Good. We should be
I was
doing
taking
that all
notes.
over the place.
It's during COVID, so yeah.
Yeah. Good. And were people? Oh, so they weren't in person. They were all just little windows.
Yeah.
If. Ugh. Anyways. Okay.
Yeah, this
Go
is
ahead, Bash.
really
Yeah. Go
interesting.
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I finished the sentence that God, yeah, Barak has been waiting for it. He's like, what should I write? What should I write?
He said, you see, go. So
No,
give
tell me.
him. Finish the sentence. Finish the sentence. Okay.
Okay. God does not judge us by our blood or our color,
Yes.
but by our actions.
By our actions. Yeah. Thank
By
you,
our blood.
Ash, for giving this. Make sure Barak's got it because
Barak is a smart guy. Anyone who is named Barak is smart.
no. I don't want to put Richie on the spot here a little bit, but you will meet a young student here from Kenya,
Uh-huh.
and he knows a lot about Barack Obama, the former American president,
Uh-huh.
whose father was born in Kenya before the family came to the United States, and then you know the rest. But we'll get to that, Richie. Okay. Great. Okay, so I'm going to just come back. I just want to make sure everybody's sort of understanding. Let me bring it back. We've got that in the notes. Ash, is there anything specifically you would like the students to start thinking about in terms of this idea of empowerment and your own experience as an emerging leader, let's say, in terms of your decision to go back to where you come from after having lived? Could you speak to that, please?
Sure. Yeah. So actually, it's actually based on my, a little bit about my background, what I did when I was in the teenage years, like from when I was 17 and 18, I had this drive, of doing something for the community, like I mentioned. And we would be taking classes and, trainings within our community and trying to contribute, by cleaning up, just like small activities, planning small activities around the town and keeping the youth busy in something which is positive, and something that can actually, and it was just coming, I was doing out of my instincts, and I had a good company around me. So friends were supportive. And then even when we were in Budapest, we were having the global classes, and also we were working on the youth enrichment society. And over there, I got this perspective or this mindset of global inclusivity, because I understood that the world needs to be more inclusive if you want to work together and if you want to tackle global issues. Because everyone, like right now, even if we talk about the current scenario of the world, everyone has their own perspective. If I'm from Pakistan, I have my own perspective. If I'm from Israel, I have my own. If I'm from the Middle East, Africa, so many perspectives around the world, and how, from which angle we see it. So I think it's very important at this point that when everybody comes together, we talk about it, we actually take serious notes, we take serious actions towards it, and we actually progress as a society. And I want to, bring in education into it. I want to bring in
He's got it. You're going to start to see, Ash, what's going to start to go ahead, because I could see you were on it. The student who's there taking notes is eventually going to start to figure out and start to take it on his own. That means he's processing. He's processing what's being said in the class. So real learning is going on there. That's called active learning. Ash speaks of action. We need to be mentally active. You don't just passively receive information. You have to process it through your beautiful human brain. That's what Barak is doing. And now he's doing it on his own. He's off and running. So Ash, keep going. It's just you may see notes that Barak makes, and these are his notes.
So I mean, like, to keep it short, because I know that we have to leave in 10 minutes. So I will try to keep it short so we can, have a idea and have a way forward going on instead of going into a deep philosophical topic. So how I want to take the global class forward with everyone around in Canada is that we bring in, we connect the students from universities and colleges over here with the students who are in Canada. And I'm from the region in Pakistan which is not very resourceful, like I mentioned in the beginning of when I started out. So with limited resources, students are still working hard, they're still trying. And it reminds me of another person from India. I don't know why I have so many examples coming up from India today.
From India.
there
Go
was there
ahead.
was a this example will clarify to students where I want to take them. So
Go ahead.
Ramanujan, if they have heard about the guy Ramanujan, he was a mathematician. And what he did, that he had very limited resources of mathematics. And if you read about his story, that the things that he did with that limited resources of the knowledge of mathematics, he 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 created like a new way, like he made a lot of inventions. There's a movie based on him as well. There's a documentary actually on him. And by that I realized that what if these students from this part of the world, they get the chance to have the resources, they get the chance to you know have a global understanding of the world, get out of their comfort zone, break their shells, and have a global perspective. Then we can have like good results with it, like in 10-15 years, let's imagine, like we can have people or youth ready for the coming generation. So
Yes. Yes.
I'm talking about sustainable growth over here. Like we can have a sustainable growth, and with collaboration, with projects going on together. Because we're gonna have an interaction here. I don't want to take over the entire thing over here, but we're gonna have like
It's okay.
ideas from everyone, like the topics that we want, that they are interested about, the topic that they want to speak about, the topic that they want to cover. And yeah, that's how I wanna take this global class forward with you. And I'm
Great.
very thankful for that.
Well, thank you for also being sort of alert to the fact that you don't have a lot of time today. It's just an introduction, and I told him it would be.
Yeah.
He will be coming back to give a full class with us. Okay, so I just wanted you to get a sense of how this class is going to work this semester. You're going to be meeting people like him from all over this way, coming in and sometimes sitting here live, and they're going to help us to experientially understand leadership from a planetary perspective, from a human perspective. So before we let Ash go, and of course, Ash, you're welcome to stay in the class. We're just going to have to move on. We're going to do a little activity, so we give the students a chance to meet each other. But does anybody have anything they'd like to say or ask of Ash at this point? You're welcome to do that, of course. Anytime, raise a hand if you would like to. And
Yeah, I got a question.
who's that? Oh, Nathan,
Yeah.
go ahead. please.
Ash, this might be a little personal, but like, what do you do for a living?
That's not a bad question, Nathan. That's a good question.
That's yeah, exactly.
Go for it.
So-
So what do you do? What do you do?
Well, I do like 8-9 things in a day. So I don't know. Most of them is really boring, and most of it is out of passion. And what I do out of passion is that I do consulting. Like I'm consulting businesses, and the local businesses over here. Like for example, if there is a business that need help with the marketing, I help them with that. If there is a business that need help with building their brand around, because I'm a graduate in economics, so I'm having that sense in the market as well. So I'm helping on one side. That's what I do as a passion. And I also have some Web3 activities going on where we can discuss. Even in this class, we can talk about it, how Web3 is taking over the world and what is the future of social media. And we can have more experts. Like I'm having a network of professionals and experts who are from the United States, close to you guys, from New York.
Yep.
And they are taking forward the ETF and the Bitcoin and what's coming up next. What's next for social media, what's coming next.
What's
So
going on?
yeah, so I'm part of that community, and we are having, like, some new applications coming up. We are working on a, I don't want to disclose the name now. It's a bit secret. Yeah, but we are working on an application right now that will be the future of social media. Like, and I can't wait to bring it to the platform here once it's ready. And so those are kind of the activities I'm in, like some innovative activities, and there is some boring stuff as well. Like, like I get something to uh, some designing stuff. Like, okay, design a poster or do something like that. So on and off, I do many things in a day.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Nathan, I detect a bit of a leadership bone or two in you. What program are you in?
In the finance program,
Finance.
business finance.
So economics, finance, there's something
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
something like that. Okay, you might. But thank you for asking the right questions. Good, simple questions you want to know.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
know,
hope they answered the question.
this is all about you in the end. All this work that I do is all in aid, ultimately, to ensure that our future is better. And Ash was very gracious at the beginning in talking about what I've done. But the truth is, we wouldn't be in this space having built this without students saying on the evaluations or in emails or to the college, we need more of this. So this is all coming from you. I'm a kind of a mirror reflecting you back to you. Okay? And so we have Ash for another couple minutes. Nathan's asked any other questions or anything you'd like to say before we get ready. You're going to be standing up in a moment, and we're going to have a good activity to really meet each other some more. But let me just get a show of hands for the moment so I can make sure I'm clear. Please raise a hand if you feel you don't really understand yet the purpose of why you've chosen this class. And I'm a big boy. I can handle it. Don't worry, If you say I don't understand, then I will take that seriously as I'm failing as your educator and helping you to be clear. So it's really important that you walk out of here today and you know why you're coming here week after week, especially if you're choosing to be here, and especially if you're paying for the bus or you're paying for the gas and you're driving from somewhere else. You don't have to be here. You can save the money, stay at home, and just join like Ash is online. So you've invested in this. It's important you get your money's worth. Anybody not sure? Any questions? In terms of how you're going to be assessed, I can get to that next week. Don't worry. It's all reflecting. There are no exams or anything. It's all writing and making videos and other things where you're thinking and deeply, critically reflecting on the content in this course. And students who've been in other classes of mine know the drill. It's the same. Ryan, Grayson, Richie, Mubarak. Who else is there? Well, let's give Ash a little hand, and thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Ash, and thank you, Barak and Nathan and Abdul and others for starting this little engine that we've got going in this class. Okay, so Ash, I'll be in touch. We'll chat on WhatsApp, but please stay in the class. And if there's anything you'd like us to think about in terms of takeaway, just park it in the live chat, and that will be available.
Sure.
I'll be doing that as well. So we have the notes in the live chat to record.
Well,
Okay.
I think you guys are having a start of the day over there, and you are in Canada. It's morning right now, right?
It is. It is.
Yeah. So I wish everybody a great day, a successful day, and and for me, I'm just going to get ready for my bed.
Well, Ash, I'm going to point out something to you that you may not have noticed. Let me just bring this back to Barak because I want you to see something. Around the perimeter of that board, and I'll let the students, they can see what he's seeing too. You may not notice, but there's green through the window. Do you see the green through the window?
Yeah. Outside. Yeah. Exactly.
That's
There's no
grass.
snow.
That's exactly. Ash has been asking, what about the snow? That's
Yeah.
grass. On January
Wow.
the 10th, Canada, and we don't get
Okay.
snow anymore. We get rain. In fact, by the way, the news yesterday, 2023, I'm not making this stuff up. I promise. The hottest year for planet Earth ever, broke all the records. The planet's temperature increased 1.48%, and that wasn't supposed to happen for another 6 years. That's why we're seeing grass in Canada, not snow. Just one of the many things you guys got to deal with. Are you ready for this? Well, Ash is going to help you to be ready in this. Barack's notes will help. I'm going to help. But Ash, I just wanted to point out that fact. Grass. There's the
We
proof.
have
Okay.
this is the this is the climate change is what's gonna bring us together. Like we have to take a action which is collective. We all, it's because if the climate stays, we stay. If there is no climate and nature, then I
That's
mean,
right.
what's the point of fighting for? I mean, a land or anything. So I really hope that we get some practical actions towards our climate and climate action as well. Like in the upcoming classes.
Thank you, Ash. Okay. So let's move on.
Thank you.
Generally, in our classes, we will, if it's okay with you, end 15 minutes early and not take a break. Okay, so the break will be that we kind of shift to something where you get on your feet, maybe, or move around, which is what you're about to do. But we're going to end in about 25 minutes, always at quarter to 12 Eastern time. And so I am just making sure I am in my mental checklist dealing with what needs to be dealt with, but also I always have to remind myself that I can't do everything in a class. There's so much I want to do with you. But I hope that sometimes when you look at me in person, you're not just seeing the mirror in a way of you, but you're also seeing a human being trying to deal with a lot of complexity and stress. Coming into this space it's a very complicated thing we do, and I like to be able to succeed. I want to be able to lead. So maybe in the way that I handle things, when you watch me through the semester, troubleshooting at times, again, you will see the mirror back of you managing stress. I have my problems too. We all have mental health issues we're dealing with in one way or another. But I love what I do. I found a way to love. I found a way to be in the place that I love. That's where you want to be in your life. When you can love what you do, you love it, you want to give, you can handle anything. The best warriors, guys and women, are not the ones who've received amazing training in boot camp and are terrified of their commanding officer. The best warriors, they fight for what they love. They absolutely love it. So hopefully you will see me handling the stress, and then you will leave and you will go, well, yeah, I got a lot on my plate, but yeah, I'm going to try and manage the stress in my life with more joy and try to find the place where I love to be. And I'm not always going to be reaching for some medication, reaching for some beer, some wine, staying at the gym for 5 hours a day, playing video games for 10 hours, escaping. Maybe I can be happy in the moment. As crazy as the moment is, okay? So, all right. Could you all please stand? And Barack, you can come back now because you're going to be part of this. Can you all please stand? I'm going to put you into Get ready for this. We're going to end the class today, which is, I would like to stand for a moment, stretch a little bit, and if you have to kind of just take a moment to feel yourself. Feel yourself. All great religions, whether it's Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Judaism, tribal faiths, they all have this sense of sort of being one with themselves and nature. So just kind of just take that moment. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3. I think we're uneven, but that's okay. Nathan? Yes. You have to go? It's okay. Thanks for letting me know. We'll see you next week, okay? Or maybe we'll see you online. Okay, have a good week. Okay, that brings us down to an even number. God is looking out for us. We want even. And the odd, and the, see? So now I want, there's 22 of you right now. I did my math. I want 11 to stand this way, and the other 11 to be facing those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. These 11, could you come and stand here facing that way, shoulder to shoulder? Okay. She'll be back. So 11. Good. And that's right. Are you among the 11? No? Okay, good. So nice. Shoulder close. Yeah, shoulder to shoulder. And look at the diversity in this. Wow. I like this. Okay. So now the rest of you, could you go and stand in front of a person? Okay. So it should be 11 on 11. And we're going to have a little bit of a speed meeting. Now, let's see. Make sure we might be. Here comes our 22nd. So it should even up. Here we go. Yep. So one there, one there. Come closer. Come a little closer because you're going to be talking to each other. Okay, if you have to push, that's right. Good. So that's right. Okay. One-on-one, one-on-one. So it should be 1-to-1. Let's make sure we're lined up correctly. Mubarak, are you good? Okay. Is it a little bit jam-packed there? Then we might have to open out this. I'll help you. Okay. So good. Okay. So it should be one-on-one. Okay. Let's get that straight first. Nice. Yep. Okay. Okay. So excellent. Okay. So now what's going to happen is in a moment, I'm going to ask you to start talking to each other, and you're going to chat for 2 or 3 minutes, each of you, about what you want from this class, what you really want to achieve in this class. That's what you're going to talk to each other about, okay? So, for example, what's your name? Jamie? Okay, Jamie? Jamie and Supit will be talking this way, and it's Princess. Lovely. Princess? Jason. Princess and Jason. So they'll be talking the same. You're all going to be talking. Then I'm going to say switch, and you're all going to step to the side, and you're going to meet another person. I'll show you how that's going to work. But in the next 15 or 20 minutes, you're going to meet a few people. I'm going to be moving things around, and you're going to be talking about what you want to achieve in this class, or anything you want to talk about, as long as you're meeting each other. We may not have time to take up everything today, but we can do that next week, okay? Because what you say in terms of your expectations, I'm going to put in the notes. I'll make sure I teach you that. Okay, does that make sense? Did we do this in one of our classes, Ryan? So Ryan knows, and do you remember, Grayson, we did this? Did we do it? Okay, good. So Mubarak, you remember too? Yeah, good. So on your marks, get set, go. Okay, for those students online and for watching the recording later, while the activity is going on, I can clean up some notes and take a look and make sure. And I may also be yelling out switch to everybody to keep the activity going. But other than that, this should work okay. And this is what you will see on the recording. Good. Okay, so we have these nice notes from Barack. And let me just make sure this going. Nice. Okay. Let's go and see what's happening. So we can see these notes, just doing a little review. This is excellent. Nice. Okay. And we go here. Okay, so this is how it started. This is how the notes started. Okay, in a moment, I'm going to shout switch, but I'll turn off the microphone so your ears are not broken when I say this. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so everybody's switching now. Nice. Okay, good. Yeah, Princess, you come over here. That's right. Yeah, Jamie, you'll stay there. Yeah, good. So, Princess, you're going to meet, yeah, the gentleman here. Excellent. Okay, keep going, guys. Yeah. Are you okay? Are you with somebody? Okay, it's all right. If it's a little mixed up, that's fine. Okay, good. So the activity is good, and I can now review the notes with you that have been done. And this is the first for me this semester, is being able to pivot and bring the camera over here and do the notes review while the activity is going on. So let's review what we've covered so far today. This has just been an introductory class for all of you to understand what the global leader class is going to be for you this semester. And as you are seeing so far, all the students who participated in today's class came in person, which is remarkable. And I'm so thrilled to see that you're choosing to be in person. And as you can see from the activity that's being done, you can maybe hear behind me, there's a lot of interaction going on right now. And that's what this space will be. It's the place where you can interact one-on-one with people, but also there is this online dimension, of course. So if you are watching the recording only and you weren't in the class, then you will have seen the class so far, and now we're in the notes review while the activity is going on. And one of the things I just wanted to make sure you understand about what's so important is that we're living at a time in history when the world has truly become a planet. And that is changing the way we think. And in order to be leading rather than following, there's a kind of consciousness that you need that is much more planet wide and what is called local, global and local at the same time. This is very important in terms of demonstrating leadership qualities. So let's take a look at what else we managed to get into our live, freshly baked PowerPoint slides today, made by the students here and our guests. Now going to shout out switch. So hold on a sec. Good. I'm back for the review, and hopefully my glasses do not fall off my head. So you can see Barak's notes as he was familiarizing himself with the format today, which is no small achievement. He walked into a class for the first time and he's being asked to take notes in a new way. And eventually he was taking notes on his own without our assistance. So, way to go, Barak. So, I am your professor, Lon Appleby. You can call me Lon, and I'm always available via email. But the best thing is to come speak with me in person in class, and we can arrange for meetings in person here. So Barak's put down this note, do this class, said Abdul. And Abdul was put in the hot seat, and he mentioned why he was here. And that's because a couple of his friends said, do this class, and they said it would be fun. And that's why he's here. And that's what we were trying to establish today is some expectations, why you're here. And that's what the students are doing right now and talking to each other is what they're expecting from the class. We're going to be talking a lot about important forces, really big forces in the human story that help us to be better leaders. And one of those is free thinking, freedom and imagination, also being able to talk about uncomfortable things, intercultural literacy. And that's why I said immediately, I'm Jewish. I'm a Jew in a world right now where there's tremendous conflict around this with the war in the Holy Land between Israel and Hamas. And being able to talk about these things is part of being a good leader. You are not afraid to talk about difficult things. Okay, I think we might be ready for a switch, but I'll just finish this slide. Barak put the note down that we are not politicians, we are students. And he's right. You're learning at this point. You're learning some new skills. But in 5, 10 years, when you graduate and you're working, I hope that you will be able to apply some of these skills so you may become politically active or you may be leading initiatives and starting organizations. And so you will need to understand some of these skills, mental skills that we're developing in this class. Okay, here we go. For switching, I am going to go to the next slide in this review. And we can see here that when we talk about important qualities that are needed today in understanding how to lead effectively, first you have to understand something about empowerment, how to empower yourself, how to empower others. That's how you get the best out of those you're working with. Living with an impact. This is what our guest, Ashfaq from Pakistan, helped us to start to see. And he will be coming back and giving a full class on this idea of youth empowerment and how he's been developing this in Pakistan in the work that he's doing as a community leader. He talked about action plans as well. And he also gave us this lovely quote that God does not judge us by the color of our skin, judge us by our actions. That actions are very important. When we act as leaders, when we put into practice what we are thinking, that's when the foot hits the pedal, the pedal hits the metal, if you will. And that's when we really start to see your leadership is when you are doing something. But before you do something, you have to think it. And thinking it requires new mental skills. And that's what we're going to be developing in this class. We want progress as a society. Okay, I'm going to come back and see how everybody is doing here. And let me just bring the camera back for the moment. And you can see everybody is working at their interaction right now. And I'm going to call out in a moment one more switch. But there is lots going on that I can hear. And I'm just going to close the chat, close this so the YouTubers can see this full screen. Look at that. It's a thing of beauty. Humans together interacting, learning from each other. Okay, switch. Two more switches. Go ahead, switch. I hope that didn't break your ears. But you okay, Ellen? Are you looking? You guys, as long as you're talking to somebody, okay? As long as you're talking to somebody. And I just want to get, what's your name? Paris. Good, Paris. Paris and Ellen. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes away from the end of today's class. And how are we doing on YouTube? It's looking pretty good. Technically, everything seems to be working. You might hear all of the music going on around me, and music is humans talking, learning from each other, diverse humans. Now, let's take a look at this view. Ooh, there's another view. There's the close-up view. Okay, you can see that, but I don't want to keep that for too long because it might unsettle some of the students. Let me come back to, oops, the wider view, and that is over here. Whoops, cancel that. Okay, and we'll come back there. So there we go. The notes, I'll just come back over to them right now for all of you. There are more notes that have been kept. I just can't get over there right now and change them. But this is critical information for all of you. And I will be talking about how you will be reflecting on this next week in terms of reflections for marks. That's how the marks are going to work. But I will explain. But these notes will be sitting in your DC Connect folder for today's class. They will be available. And I hope that those of you who did not attend today and are just watching the recording will feel comfortable always to come in person if you wish. So we're getting down to about 3 or 4 minutes left, and I'm gonna let this continue, and I think I will let them finish with a longer one, and then we're gonna return to our seats, and we're gonna do a quick take up, a very quick take up. And what I will do actually is I'm going to actually do something on the fly today, something that I'm going to do for marks. And we'll start that. But I'm not sure. So if you're listening closely to every word that comes out of my mouth right now, please just with a little grain of salt, sprinkle the salt on the last few words because I may have to change that. Nothing is for marks at this moment. Nothing is for marks. Okay, your attention, please. Microphone on, and way to go, everybody. I was about to being inspired. I was about to, just let me change this. Hold on. That's something else I'm going to tell you about next week, which is our presentation we're going to be making in Japan at the World Expo, the global class. It's coming soon, but I want to just bring you back to, well, we'll end here with YouTube, okay? And that's about YouTube 10 seconds ago. And you're all back there. I was inspired by what I was seeing, and I was ready to actually hand out the first little reflection for marks, but I decided not after a first class. I wouldn't do that. So here's what I want you to do today at some point. If you can do this right after the class, just very briefly, make a few notes on your phone, in a notebook, or just remember it. What was one thing that came out of that conversation that you had with each other about what you expect to achieve in this class this semester? Because next week at the beginning, I will ask you to tell me what that was, and I will take up those expectations with you, and I'll get them in the notes. Okay? I was going to ask you to reflect on all this, but no, it's too much at this point, too much to ask. All you need to do, since we're running out of time, is just have a record somewhere, either in your incredible memory or somewhere that you've written it, where you're ready next week when we start the review and I say to you, what was that one expectation that you want to come out of this? What do you want this class to do for you? Okay? And since we're right now at 11:45, in theory, it's the end of the class, and it is, but if you would like a minute or two to just write that down now, you're welcome to stay here. I have another class at 1:00. You can stay here until then, or you can stay for the class, whatever. But if you need to go, go ahead. But make sure you have that, because I will call on you next week if you're here in person. You know, Ryan, what was that one thing? Grayson, what was that thing? Or Barack, what was the thing? And what's your name? Jack? Okay, Jack, what was that one thing? Because it's really important for me to hear what you're expecting to achieve. And it may be different from what my plan is. And I can skate with the class. I used to play a lot of hockey, you know, and I can skate. If you want to go this way, I'll go this way with you. If you want to go that way, I can do that. You matter more than anything, right? Okay. We're done. Thank you very much. Recording will be up on DC Connect in about 24 hours with the notes, and hopefully I'll see you all in person next week. Take care, and for all of you watching the recording, enjoy, and maybe we'll see you here in person. All right, I'm going to end things now. Yes, yeah, they'll be on DC Connect. I'll post them in a day. Okay.
The online class, it's also in the DC class.
Okay, I'm going to leave this live for now while we're talking so they can hear. It's good because you're asking good questions, and I want everyone. On DC Connect, the global leader page. Have you been there? Okay, you need to, because that's where all the announcements are. That's where everything is posted. So, what's your name again?
My name is
Jazeel. Right now, would you do me a favor? Go to the DC Connect Global Leader page. I want to make sure you can do this, and this is what you should see. Okay, I'll put this up on the board for you. Okay, so watch this. So I'm going to DC Connect, and you will see it on the board here, Jazeel. So this is what you always need to see, which is the global leader. Because look at what I do. I make announcements, and exactly, absolutely, that's where it's all going to be posted on DC Connect. And it's on YouTube, but it's DC Connect is where the resources are put, and everything else. YouTube is just the class, but there's all sorts of other. No textbooks, but I will give you things to read, and there will be things you're going to be reflecting on. But no, textbooks are too out of date by the time we're teaching now. We have to be very current here.
Questions and Q&A, MCQs, and the other questions that they have posted usually posted in the to do work.
Okay, well, here's what you need. You should, every time there's an announcement on DC Connect, you should receive an alert. If you don't, please go to the IT desk, because every time I make an announcement here, okay, I will be making an announcement, and I will be posting content in here, okay? Every time I put something, you should be getting an email in your DC email telling you there's something there for you. But if you have any IT questions, go to the desk in the comment, because I have about 200 students, so I have to expect that they all understand DC Connect. This is critical, okay?
I'm asking if we have any like questions or any Q&As, anything that are related to assignments is going to be posted here.
Yes,
Yeah,
but when you say Q&A, there's a discussion thread that will start soon, and that's where you'll be posting reflections.
yes.
Yeah, I'll show you that in the coming classes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so all of that is there. But this is just the critical thing, Jasil, is it's the announcements page on DC Connect. That's where everything gets, new things get announced. Yeah.
So if you want, just in case if I couldn't attend the offline class,
Yeah.
I just want, so I just don't have time to come here, so I want to attend online. I can go through the DC Connect.
Exactly. And I'll show you from last semester, for example. So let me go to DC Connect from last semester, for example, okay? And you'll see how this works. So fall 2023 global leader. Okay, so every class that we have, I will put here the so you'll see. Okay, record. So the recording of the December 6th class will be. Let me just refresh this. Give me a moment. I've lost the refresh. Okay. So here is a there is an announcement. Last December, global leader. Every single class I put recording of the class. So today will be recording of January the 10th class. That will be announced. You will have the recording right there. Okay. So it will be, you click, and there is the recording. Yes. And then, or maybe Maureen, and then the content, it will tell you recording of class, and then it will say below is the recording of our December 6th class. The recording is also posted on the content page along with the resources. So you go to the content, and this is where, and you see the December 6th class, and you see the notes there. That's where the notes are posted. That's so it's this folder, Jazeel, these ones that are really critical. And you have the class, the notes, and the chat and the links. And that's will be available 24 hours after every class. Is it clear?
Yes,
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, promise? Because I have students, I look at them and they say yes, and then I get emails saying like they didn't understand. So I just want to, I'm asking, you understood? Good. Okay, thank you. All right, see you next week. Okay, so I'm going to end the live stream right now for everybody. Let me do that on Toria, and then I can stop. So